Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share a layout that I created with my May 2020 Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit. The layout is called Birthday Fun. If you've been watching for a while, you'll know that I just did a layout that's very similar to this one. Also a birthday layout for my other granddaughter. I just used the same kit to create this layout. So even though they match each other, they will be in separate albums. So here I'm cutting down my papers. I did pull in a couple of sheets of that cream color cardstock into the kit, so I would have matching background pages. And so as I go along here, I'm going to decide to ink up the edges, and I'll pull that ink out and get that done here in just a second. And I'm also going to round the corners. The sketch that I'm using is from Scrapbook Generations, and it's from one of their books from a while ago. And so it has rounded corners. I wasn't originally going to round the corners, but then I opted to do it. And I think it gives it a really pleasant look to it. Sometimes, you know, the hard angles of corners looks okay. Other times the rounded, softer corners makes it more aesthetically pleasing. And I think with all the banners that are on there with the rounded shape, it really adds something to that. And the border strips that I'm going to put down the side of the photos is also going to give it a more rounded, softer feel. Pulling in this yellow cardstock, and I'm going to make some pieces to go along the edges. Just following along with the sketch. Now, sometimes I will veer completely off the sketch. Other times, not so much. I'll follow right along. And I seem to be doing that with this sketch. And so I'm going to cut my photos down here. And I do get a lot of photos on this layout. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 photos, 9 photos on this layout, on this 2-page layout. So that turned out pretty good. I think the sketch was originally for more photos, but this worked for me. And this is my younger or middle granddaughter, Zoe, and this is from her birthday party that we had at my house. And so I'm going to get those laid out how I want them, and then I'll start sticking everything down, having a better idea where everything's going to go. Originally, I thought I was going to have all of that on the right side, and I ended up switching everything around to make it work. So this kit that I put together, I have made quite a few layouts with it already, and it has been just a joy to work with. I don't feel like I use enough of like my Mind's Eye products. I feel like I have some in my stash and they're bits and pieces here and there, but I don't ever remember having necessarily a collection with the brads and the stickers and the chipboard and the paper, all of that together. And so it's really nice to be able to work with them all together. And I love how these came together. It seems like everything went just perfectly. So there, I'm just moving everything around until I get it to where I want it, and how it's going to work for the overall feel of the layout. And here you'll see I'll cut down some additional photos. Those that I have down in the bottom, I'm going to cut those down just a wee bit more to make them 4x3s, so it looks like I have a column of 4x6s going down there like that. And I will tell you, I do get to the end of this and I do lose that final bit of footage. And I think that's becoming like my trademark. I get to near the end before I put on all of my finishing touches, and I just lose footage at the end because for whatever reason I get lost in my scrapbooking and I don't necessarily hear the camera beep at me to tell me it's turned off or stop filming. I just keep going. I'm in a zone, I guess. I'm trying to be better about paying attention to the camera as I am filming, but you know, sometimes when you're in that zone and you're moving right along, it's not as easy to keep up with that. I'm sure I'm not the only one on the planet that has these issues, but you know, there it is. So I'm getting everything all laid down, all the photos all placed down, and I love that I have been able to get so many photos on this two-page layout. And that's the other thing here recently. I haven't done two-page layouts consistently in quite a few years. But with this kit, I've really been putting a lot of two-page layouts together, and I love that. Sometimes, it's great to have like party photos or whatever, and you're able to get right back to getting the entire event on a two-page spread, sometimes 3 or 4 pages, just dependent. And this really came together well. And you can see I have way too much space to go on that other side. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just switch them out. But then I realized that my banners would be upside down. So, because I moved my papers and stuff around, yeah. So we'll see what I do as I go along here. I don't know why I keep pulling that paper up for whatever reason. Yeah, who knows? And that I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive and stick that back down along there. And rather than cut that piece of paper down, yeah, I'm just going to lift those photos up, put the background paper where I want it, and then work with it. Isn't that the lazy way to do things? After you've put the adhesive on and you want it to be somewhere specifically on a page, rather than cut the paper down anymore, because I've set my paper trimmer over to the side. So I'm just going through here and I measure over 2 inches, and then I'll put the paper or the photos back down. They're going down on top of that paper, and that's okay. I wish I had saved a little bit of that paper with the hearts on it, but I think I have enough scraps from the other sheet that was in the collection. And you can see I have cut out those border pieces there, and I've left them the full dimension. They were an old Quick Cuts die, and so they already were designed to be 1 inch. And so I just left them as is. I haven't cut them down at all. And so I'm putting those along there. And once I get them down, it almost looks like it's too much on the spacing. And you'll see I'll fix that here in just a minute. I'm going to put down the other side as well. And I was going to try and tuck it in, but again, I'm going to peel that piece of paper up and see what I have left there. I'll get those put down. And there you can see I skipped ahead a bit. I have actually fussy cut one of the floral papers out, and you can see I put the border strip down on the other side, cut that yellow piece of paper down, and made a thinner border. And on the opposite side, I put a little thin yellow strip on that as well to kind of give it not so much of that red, that deep pink, almost reddish pink there. And so where I have fussy cut the flowers, I've also fussy cut a ton of butterflies out, and you'll see me going around the layout with them, adding them here and there, just for the additional embellishment. And I love those fussy cut floral arrangements. Some of them were very large, some of them were very small, and these happen to be the smaller clusters. And I'm just adding the butterflies on that I am fussy cutting out. Now I did take a 3x4 card and put it on the left side of the page, and it's got that space left in it for maybe a date or a title or something, but I'm actually going to cover that up, but you won't see it till the final photos because I lost that part, or I didn't film that part. And then over on the right side, I have another 3x4, two 3x4s, one with all the stripes on it, the other with the yellow and the white. That is a smaller piece of a border, or of a 3x4 pocket page card that I have previously cut down for something else. I'm adding a little bit of foam adhesive behind the butterflies to give them just a little bit of dimension so that they pop out a little bit more. And I'm just going around, you know, tucking those little bits and pieces in. And as I come to a close, when I finally finish my, all of the, oh, what do you call it? The finishing touches, you'll see that I've added quite a few, like I've added enamel dots, I've added metal bits, I've added chipboard pieces, I've added phrases. The title of the layout itself I've added, and it's called Birthday Fun. I've added some punched out butterflies from some scraps that I had added into the kit. And on that top photo, I know there's a glare on it right now, but it's actually a photo of the cake where a bite has been taken from the cake. And that's kind of like my grandkids' thing. When they get their cake, they take a bite out of it before anybody else gets any. And really and truly, that's the piece that they get. And these are actually cupcakes with one solid top. And Zoe ended up getting the piece that was bitten out of, so that's not a big deal. But I put on there just a bite of fun. Instead of just a bit of fun, it's just a bite of fun. Yeah, so you'll see the finished layouts here at the end. Each side I'll show you individually, and then the two-page layout together. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you sticking around and watching my videos, and I would love it if you would flip me a thumbs up. That'll let more people know about my channel. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next video. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.